Welcome guys. Today we see about retaining wall. What is retaining wall? Retaining wall is a structure that are designed and constructed to withstand lateral pressure of soil or hold back soil materials. The lateral pressure could be also due to earth filling, liquid pressure, sand and other granular materials behind the retaining wall structure. There are 9 types of retaining wall. First one, gravity retaining wall, crib retaining wall, gavin retaining wall, cantilever retaining wall, counterfort or buttress retaining wall, anchored retaining wall, pile retaining wall, mechanically stabilized earth, MSA retaining wall, hybrid system. These are the types of retaining wall. First one is gravity retaining wall. Gravity retaining wall depends on its self weight only to resist lateral earth pressure. Second point, commonly gravity retaining wall is massive because it requires significant gravity load to counteract soil pressure. Point number 3, sliding, overturning and bearing forces shall be taken into consideration while this type of retaining wall structure is designed. Next point, it can be constructed from different materials such as concrete, stone and masonry unit. Next point, it is economical for height up to 3 meter. Crib retaining wall, gabans and beam retaining wall are also type of gravity retaining wall. Crib retaining wall. Crib retaining walls are a form of a gravity wall. Second point, they are constructed of interlocking individual boxes made from timber or precast concrete. Next point, then the boxes are filled with crushed stone or other coarse granular materials to create a free draining structure. Next point, basic type of crib retaining wall include reinforced precast and timber retaining wall. Next point, it is suited to support planter areas but it is not recommended for support of slope or structure. Third is gabion retaining wall. Gabion retaining wall are multi-celled rectangular wire mesh boxes which are filled with rock or other suitable materials. Second point, it is employed for construction of erosion control structures. Third point, it is also used to stabilize steep slopes. Cantilever retaining wall. Cantilever retaining wall composed of steam and base slab. It is constructed from reinforced concrete, precast concrete or pre-stressed concrete. Point number third, cantilever retaining wall is either constructed offsite or prefabricated offsite, that is precast. Next point, cantilever retaining wall is the most common type used as retaining wall. Next point, the portion of the base slab beneath backfill material is termed as hill and other part is called as toe. Next point, cantilever retaining wall is economically up to height of 10 meter. Next point, it requires smaller quantity of concrete compared with gravity wall but its design and construction shall be executed carefully. Next point, similar to gravity wall, sliding, overturning and bearing pressure shall be taken into consideration during its design. The fifth one is counterfort or it is also called as buttressed retaining wall. It is a cantilever retaining wall but strengthened with counterforts monolithic with the back of the wall slab and base slab. Next point, counterfort spacing is equal or slightly larger than half of the counterfort height. Next point, counterfort wall height ranges from 8 to 12 meter as compared. This one is the anchor retaining wall. This type of retaining wall is employed when the space is limited or thin retaining wall is required. Second point, anchor retaining wall is suitable for loose soil or rocks. Third point, considerably high retaining wall can be constructed using this type of retaining wall structure system. Fourth point, deep cable rods or wires are driven deep sideways into the earth. Then the ends are filled with the concrete to provide anchor. Last one, anchors acts against overturning and sliding pressures. This is the anchor retaining wall. Number 7, pile retaining wall. Pile retaining wall are constructed by driving reinforced concrete piles adjacent to each other. Piles are forced into the depth that is sufficient to counter the forces which tries to push over the wall. Second point, it is employed in both temporary and permanent works. Third point, piled walls offer high stiffness retaining elements which are able to hold lateral pressure in large excavation depths with almost no disturbance to surrounding structure or properties. Next point, sheet pile wall are built using steel sheets into a slope or excavation up to a required depth, but it cannot withstand very high pressure. Next point, sheet pile retaining wall economically hill height of 6 meter. Eighth one, mechanically stabilized earth MAC retaining wall. First point, it is among the most economical and most commonly constructed retaining wall. Second point, mechanically stabilized earth retaining wall supported by selected fill and held together by reinforcement, which can be either metallic strips or plastic meshes. Next point, type of MSC retaining wall include panel, concrete block, and temporary earth retaining wall. And the last one is hybrid system. Retaining wall that use both mass and reinforcement for stability are termed as a hybrid or composite retaining wall system. This is the whole information of retaining wall. Thank you.